Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin had all guys suit up for a vintage style video shoot. Stay tuned. Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button, also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest of boxing. If you want to become part of the notification gang, hit that bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, the donations, and the Patreon patrons. We working. September 16th, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, Canelo versus Golovkin. Now, they're giving us bits and pieces, little pictures here and there of Golovkin and Canelo. And they're dressed up old school, vintage style, like some 1930s Chicago gangster stuff. You got Gennady Golovkin looking like 5 Goes West with the outfit. And they're working on some kind of video promotion for the fight. I'm not sure the details. I don't know if it's something Golden Boy is going to release, or maybe the cable networks, DirecTV, or if it's an HBO promo. But I like it. Canelo versus Golovkin is a good fight for boxing. September 16th is right around the corner. I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like this year has been going by extremely fast. I think it's one of the best years for boxing. You're getting middle of the road fights. You're getting classic fights. You're getting fights we've been asking for a while. Kell Brook, Errol Spence, Joshua Klitschko, Canelo Golovkin, and the list goes on and on. So September will be here before we know it, especially with Mayweather-McGregor right before that. I'm looking forward to it. Now, speaking of Mayweather-McGregor, I gotta add this. I think this is the right move from Golden Boy and K2 Promotions, doing whatever they're doing with this video promotion. Looks like they're putting some money into it. I know things about video production because I edit myself. Just having a wardrobe, stylist, stuff like that to give it that authentic old school look. They're soliciting boxing legends. You see in the picture Tommy the Hitman Hearns. Rest in peace to Manuel Stewart, Kronk Jim. Shout out to them. You see Hands of Stone, Roberto Duran. And I'm pretty sure they, there's probably some kind of fee for their appearance, for their cameos. And I always go by the model of it takes money to make money. Besides that, Mayweather-McGregor, for all the people who were hating on it and saying this is ruining boxing, this, that, and the third, that's all I was hearing about last week. It's like that shut everything down. Conor's loudmouth, Floyd's loudmouth, the press tour, that's the topic of conversation. So I think that particular fight, despite what anyone feels about it, it captivated people's minds and made them curious. Like, oh, who won? Did Floyd win in New York? I think it was a tie. Conor won all of, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you felt something. And they taught the rest of boxing a bit about promotion as far as I'm concerned, because they made, like I said, despite whatever you think the fight is going to be, the press tour is what's building up the hype. You're like, oh, seeing the size differential. There's a size differential between Canelo and Golovkin, but Golovkin's pretty humble. Canelo only speaks a little English, so they haven't really got into any real dialogue that has been memorable. I think after Canelo beat Chavez Jr.'s ass and Triple G unexpectedly walked out, with that WWE type of entrance, that was it. And then it kind of died down. They did a press tour, but I felt like that press tour was short-lived. People weren't really talking about it like they're talking about Mayweather-McGregor. Now, I'm not comparing in terms of what's a better fight for boxing or anything like that, because we know the boxer versus boxer, of course, that's going to be the fight that makes the most sense for boxing, especially since Floyd keeps saying this is his last one. So even if he beats Conor, if he stops Conor, he's talking about going back into retirement. At least Canelo and Golovkin, even though Golovkin has mentioned the idea of possibly retiring, we don't know if that's a foregone conclusion because we have to see what happens. So, and if Canelo wins, obviously he's still youthful in the sport, so there's a lot of other great fights that can be made. So there's no question there, but I still firmly believe Mayweather versus McGregor kicked a lot of fights ass in terms of promotion. They promoted the right way. I mean, it's not just Canelo Golovkin. Broner Garcia, another great fight. Broner, he's been doing some, but he's been a little bit more modest. He's been doing, you know what I'm saying, little things here and there, calling him Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and stuff. But Mikey Garcia, that's not really his bag. That's not really his thing. So I ain't really heard nothing from Mikey Garcia other than I'm gonna apply pressure and this and that. And this was the right fight, and we wanted to give it to the fans. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying people should be out of character, but at the end of the day, you got to do different things to keep people interested. Not necessarily the diehards, because the diehards are always going to be there. I used to work retail, and I had a store manager. He told me he was working somewhere. He was working at his dad's shop when he was a kid or something, and he told us the story in one of the meetings for the managers. And he says he was working at his dad's store, and there'd be people in the store, and then they would get phone calls. People would call in asking questions. Hey, there's some kind of hardware store. And he was saying, basically, the moral of the story was the people that were right there ready to pay at the cash register, he would make them wait to answer the phone and assist customers and then ring up the person. So the guy told me he asked his dad, hey, there's willing paying customers right here. Why are we making them wait to attend to people who aren't even in the store? And he says, that's exactly why. The people who are already in the store, they already have their stuff. They've already picked it out. Now, they're not going to wait an ungodly amount of time to get rung up. But more than likely, if it's a reasonable 2-minute call or 30, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is, they're going to wait. They already picked out the stuff. You already have them here in the building. But those people on the phone, you're trying to get them into the building. So the same rule applies. See, I'll be dropping little gems for y'all. Same rule applies for boxing. The hardcore fans aren't going anywhere. Hardcore fans are going to watch big fights like Canelo Golovkin and Broner Garcia, but they're also going to watch Marcus Brown versus Shawnee Monahan, or Robert Guerrero versus Omar Figueroa, a Crossroads fight, because they're already built-in lifelong fans for the most part. But doing all that press tour, you'll do none, and he's carrying a book bag, and you're 40 years old and all this, and Floyd saying, oh, Dana White's pimping you, that's going to get a different market. The real boxing fans already know Canelo Golovkin is a good fight, so they're going to tune in. But you have to achieve massive success, you have to hit on all cylinders. You know what I mean? To really get those crazy numbers. You think Mayweather versus Canelo doing 2.1, 2.2 million homes, you think those are all diehard boxing fans? Every single one of them? Hell no. Because if that was the case, then every single fight would be just like that. Every fight would have 2 million plus. But obviously that's a hard number of pay-per-views to sell, because name the last person aside from Mayweather and Pacquiao that has even done Mayweather versus Canelo numbers. See? So promotion is huge. So I like to see this from K2 and Golden Boy, that they're putting some money behind it to make something entertaining. I don't know exactly what they're doing, but they need to do it, because like I said, Mayweather and McGregor, they just shitted on everybody else's promotion, because that fight was hollered about and it's still being talked about, and the press tour is over. They can go back to their training camps and do what they got to do, but it got people talking, and it's just so funny. I told y'all in January, tell the truth. Tell the truth. A lot of people saying this, that, well, this fight sucks, but their motherfucking asses was glued to the TV and YouTube screen and mobile phone screen when Mayweather and Conor was doing them press tours. And those were coming on at different times, because some were coming on in Pacific Standard LA time, then in Ontario, Canada time, then New York time. They were coming on all times, and people were still finding out, and 100,000, 200,000 or whatever concurrent viewers. So people were watching. So I think that kind of pushed the needle, where all these big fights, they really should be doing that. You know what I mean? Like, I think Kell Brook versus Errol Spence, I knew it was going to be a good fight. I knew what to expect, but not everyone watches boxing or reports boxing and knows details and stuff like that. I think they could have done a lot better with the promotion of that fight. Even though it was happening in the afternoon, it didn't have the greatest in terms of the audience, the viewership. So it's not just Canelo Golovkin. I think all these fighters and fights and promoters, they got to ramp it up and step it up. Again, I'm not saying Ward and Kovalev both have to trash talk. Kovalev was kind of doing the trash talking and Ward wasn't. So I'm not saying come out of character if you're a family man and show your ass and sell out to sell some tickets. But just overall, the promotion has to be somewhat compelling. Whether it's like, I think UFC, they're a good example. Not every UFC fighter is very charismatic like Conor McGregor. That's just a fact. But I've watched a lot of those UFC embedded series, and even the guys who are probably more mild than Conor McGregor, those are still good episodes or webisodes or whatever you want to call it. They're still entertaining. So I'm not saying everyone has to be Mayweather, McGregor, Broner with the mouthpiece, but like I said, I watched a lot of those UFC embedded, and they're good. Whether it was Ronda Rousey, Chris Cyborg, or Cowboy Cerrone, any of them, they're all well put together, great cinematography, and that's the market that I think all these promoters should be looking at. You know what I mean? Don't just think you're going to charge casual fans when there's Cody's and ways to stream all this shit. Don't just think you're going to charge people $70 to $100 and not entertain. You know what I mean? Even if you look at movies, what do they have? Trailers, talk show guest spots. You know what I'm saying? If it's a new Fast and the Furious, you'll see Tyrese, Vin Diesel, and the whole squad on Extra or whatever TV show. Conan O'Brien. They have a dope ass trailer. They have multiple trailers. They have Instagram. Like, a person that I really like, I think he just has a good personality, good character, but he's also good with the businessman, or good as a businessman, is The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I mean, he's a salesperson. Whether he's filming Jumanji or Central Intelligence or his show Ballers, he's active. He's showing his gym workouts. He's showing behind the scenes. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna run into fans. He's playing practical jokes on them. He's showing some behind the scenes with him and Kevin Hart off screen, like joking and talking shit, and all that's important for the social media age. You know what I mean? And I think The Rock does a great job of that. But not every fighter does it. I follow all these fighters on social media, and it doesn't even look like a fucking robot. It's like a self-checkout. There's no personality, and it's like a robot or a PR person is posting for them. I never see anything. Like, you got to hustle. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, I'm not even trying to toot my own horn, but go look at my Instagram. I got more followers than some of these fighters. And trust me, I know some of these fighters, they have purchase followers. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. There's no real traction. There's no real interaction. You got to get out there with the people. Just because you're making $1 million, $2 million a paycheck doesn't mean you don't have to hustle. Conor McGregor, another person. Besides all this press tour shit, he's showing pictures of him and his son on his social media. He's showing when he's doing Call of Duty behind the scenes shit, right? He's showing him looking flashy. He's like driving, listening to Biggie with, you know what I mean, like a sweater and flip up glasses. People like that because it makes you feel like you know him even though you don't know him. So another hell of a salesperson. Canelo, he's a good fighter. I want to see him more active. Golovkin too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some of their accounts look like a robot's posting it. Like when Canelo dropped that video where he was like kind of salsa dancing, he didn't even initially put that on his page. Somebody else did, and he just reposted it. So you got to do those interactive things. I know this video turned into a little bit of a rant, but that's how I feel. I feel like in this social media age, especially with these young kids, look at the music. They don't even care what the lyrics about. They care about just making their head nod and the beat, and it's catchy. I'm in love with the cocoa. You know what I'm saying? The So you have to captivate more than one audience. So I like that they're doing this vintage promotion. I'll keep you guys posted, let you know my thoughts when it drops. But these fighters got to start promoting. Let me know your thoughts. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.